Hey, this is Dan Nolan, the managing broker of EXIT Realty Solutions out of Fairfield, Indiana. Probably serving both sides of that Indiana and Illinois border there, that invisible line that separates us. We know no bounds. So we got a good one this week. We have a lot of information that has come in, some past data, some future data, but we do see that there's a lot of things that are moving pieces in this market, and we're going to try and hit all of them today. One of the best times to sell that I've always had a great fourth quarter. My September, October, and November's are usually stronger than what I've been seeing lately. But I do know that the stress level in those transactions were a lot less. And with serious buyers in the marketplace right now, that's going to help a little bit too. They want to get the job done just as much as we do. But there's a lot less competition typically in this part of the cycle. Well, this part of the cycle is been all year. So just to let you know, the consumer's not feeling it right now. Consumer sentiment. The numbers came out today. The public isn't seeing it. Last we came in at 63 this month. Last month it was 68, and we were expecting a 67, and it kind of came in a little bit less than that. So the consumer isn't feeling it right now. We have a couple of issues that are keeping things getting better. One of the things that's probably going to screw the recovery up is the Gaza Strip is going on. The sanctuary situation in Chicago has become overwhelming, and now they want to turn the status back. Uh, Harold Washington did a great thing, but right now, because of the border, Chicago's getting ill. Um, there's nowhere to put the bus loads that keep coming in. And it's probably a good idea that Brandon take a look at how he's going to support that theory because they don't have the money for it. They used to, maybe 30, 40 years ago. The money could have moved a little bit more effectively, but right now, with the budget and the deficit, it's not a winning proposition for those in Illinois. Feel very frustrated that we have this situation and it's being forced upon Chicagoans. Again, it is your decision, but it's also a decision that you can change. So I'm kind of thinking that this might be a ballot issue coming up. Home prices are still rising just by a little bit. It's still resistant to everything that the Fed has done. The Fed has done 8 increases since last July. They say that the first two are just starting to take effect. Now, next month in November, at the end of November 1st, I believe it is, the Fed is going to make another decision on how they want to handle interest rates, the rates to the banks, which is going to get passed on to us. Well, I don't know how much these banks are making. I can go look, but one of today's headlines was Wells Fargo shares rise after the third quarter results top Wall Street expectations. They're still making money hand over fist, but that's all you hear is the crying from the banks. They are in a bad shape going forward, but they're still pulling in. Wells Fargo third quarter results are above expectations in this crappy market is a sign that the greed is still out there, but it's not by the consumers. So let's watch where we keep our money, people. Inflation is eating it up, and that's why people moved over to money markets. That's not a banking product. It's a bank product, but it's not part of the business plan for the banking industry, and that's taking money out of the system too. So yeah, if we can get these mortgage rates down, they say we need unemployment to go up and CPI to go down. All right. Well, let's take a look at what we have and let's see if there's something we can do about moving the ball forward. Because to be honest, I don't want to be in the situation forever. We've already been in this thing for a year, and it's getting to be quite a drag on not just everybody's psychology. Obviously, sentiment fell big time, but we're feeling it, and I'm not seeing too many happy politicians after these town hall meetings because we're holding them accountable. It's really cool to see that our voices are being heard. However, change is so slow. It's getting to be quite, but it does look like it's going to last a little bit longer. So find the gas in your tank to get through this. If you haven't been tapping into your reserve account, please make sure that you build one when you can. It does weather the storms in between closings. And that's why, working for Exit, every once in a while, I get a check that I did not expect because somebody else built the business that I brought into the business. But when they get paid, I get paid. It's nice to see mine go into a 401k plan, but it's nice to see money still comes in even between closings, which are going to be far and few between because of the interest rates. Um, we're not expecting a big change from here to the end of the year. The 3.6% increase year over year is probably right on target because we did have a good start. We had a little bit of a bump, but we're nowhere near what we were last year. With median home prices now over the $400,000 mark, it says a lot about what we're building, what we're buying, what we're not buying, how we got priced out of the market. It does show a lot about what's going on with the economy, and if we can get that 407 mark down to reality, our new reality, the new America 2.0, if we want to call it that, this is something that is going to take time, and I'm hoping that this inflation that was caused by the Fed goes away quickly. But they're on it. Yeah, they're on it. Don't tell me what it is. Interest rates. Let's go to interest rates. They did drop a little bit. It is down to 7.5. If you are keeping track, it is down from last week. So if you are writing offers, check with your lenders. But it does look like mortgage contingency interest rates would probably be about 7.75 if you're writing offers. Just letting you know, if things in Gaza get real bad, shoot up, your client has options. If you don't understand what I just said, let's have 5 minutes and I'll show you how that works. But yeah, they're not sentiment. They're not even trying. Nobody's trying for loans, and we all know that the banking industry, to double down on bad times, are now tightening uh, credit approvals. 640, anything under 640 is not even considered good anymore. So the 620s, yeah, we can probably do USDA. There's other ways of making that work. Um, but with uh, mortgage applications down 6%, you know that's forward looking motion data, and that forward motion data does not look good. Um, wish there was something more we can do about that. I mean, the builders are, they're financed by themselves. They can lower interest rates. I heard Lennar, there's a new subdivision that's just going up, 4.9% for people who walk into the subdivision in the buyer's office. You can get 4.9%. They'll go that far low. So there is ways. There are things that we are seeing that are going to be good workarounds if you qualify for them. So sit down with your mortgage professional, sit down with your real estate broker, take a look at your options. We're all different. So it'd be good to at least find out if this is something that you can do. The Zillow home price is showing a decrease, which is good for us, that for our overall economy. I'm sorry if you own a home, you're giving back a little bit of that interest that you got back a couple of years ago. Um, this is where the rubber hits the road, though. It's an investment. In an investment, when you think that you have reached the top, you typically would move that money, take the profit, and move it into another. At least take your profit off the table. This is something that should be considered right now because I couldn't tell you how fast these home prices are going to drop in the future. But with sentiment at 63, nobody's going to buy a house right now. It's just one of those psychological walls. But you got a 3% mortgage. Are you giving that up for a seven? I mean, the logical human mind says, no, you don't do that. It's something that people are looking at having to do, though. And it's a real terrible situation. We're going to go through some of that. Why we're seeing some of the things we're seeing. Core CPI headlines and core CPI came out yesterday. Now, the inventory, I'm looking at headline CPI and core CPI. Headline CPI is uh, everything included. Core CPI is minus energy and food. So when you see these two different measurements, the orange line does not include highly volatile food and energy sectors. So taking a look at what we're doing here, does look like the consumer price index did rise, even though it did come down. Overall, yes, core CPI minus food and energy. Um, Gas. I mean, and you can't if you can't keep America in their cars and keeping them moving. There's something wrong with the system. That's what we do, and we're going to see something here where uh, inventories of the crude oil in the crude oil business, inventories are up, and look at how high they shot up. People are not driving their cars. People are not going anywhere. They're not spending their money. They are already hunkered down. But it surprised me to see that it was up 10 basis points, 10 and a half after last month. But we were holding steady, but that holding steady is not the comfortable level we need. So hopefully crude oil inventories go up so that they can drive pump prices down. But they're staying. Oil is going to go to 100 a barrel. That's going to cut into the psychology of the consumer. Uh, Hopefully, it's not soon, and hopefully, we can avoid it. 70. If we can get down uh, another 3 gallon. I think I saw it was $3.10, 307 was a comfortable level where people can live and breathe. And until we get down to that level, the consumer is going to feel it. The consumer is going to eat it. They're going to get pissy about it, and they're going to make their decisions about it because they do feel it. Home buyers, those brave souls who are already pre-approved, already through the preliminary lending setup, are serious buyers. They get to this point in today's day and age, they actually do go. I've been working with my brokers. I mean, sellers are going out of their way to make sure that that deal goes through because they do feel it. This is one of the first times that we've seen floor action through homes for sale go up, and it this is August, September, October is usually get them into school. It's that time where a lot of the activities from June and July that didn't get done, get moved to August, September. That business is still out there, going and folding 8%, but we're down 13% for the year. We are slowly closing that gap as far as foot traffic through homes. But you can see it did slow down. It went from 18 to 16 to 8. So that's that consumer sentiment. Like yes. The Midwest, we didn't do so well. We were only up 7.9%. Same thing. I mean, the consumer's pulling back. I mean, they're completely in lock it down mode. And I'm glad that they are. I'm hoping that America's savings rates go up a little bit to kind of give us a firmer footing against inflation. But we got to get that down. And it's typically housing prices that are being part of the problem. Um, there are many problems. This is like a 10-point problem. Housing is probably 20% of it. But we are starting to see inventory come to market because they're not making their payments. That pressure that we've been talking about, consumer sentiment, I mean, how do you feel when you wake up when you know that you're already past due on bills? You can see things are already starting to become a hassle. You move money out of savings to pay the gas bill. You feel it. And many Americans are right. And some of these people who are starting to slowly lose traction with their finances are starting to default after cars, starting to default after credit cards, and bankruptcies are up. So the problem is already taking traction. You can see that are already starting to move into delinquency more than before. And that is also affecting the housing. Housing is really hard to measure sometimes. I don't trust any of them. The numbers, I'm reporting. I don't trust how the data was collected, and I certainly think CPI and CPI Core is just another way of manipulating numbers. But if delinquencies are going up, and we have a pocket full of delinquency that is about to become foreclosures, lawsuits. Nobody wants to be sued, but who wants to be sued for being delinquent on a home? It shouldn't happen. Delinquency on a home becomes really serious at about the fifth month when they sue you. Who wants to go to court and be sued? So we're coming up with some proactive measures that are going to help. What is the most scariest thing for people to go through because they treat it like it's a medical bill? It's not a medical bill. It's not a collection item. It's a lawsuit to take your property, and it has a huge toll on the mind. I've been doing this for 22 years. I came to this industry because I understood short sales and having the lack of money to unwind the asset was a complete hassle. That's no longer part of the norm. If you are not, if you are about to miss your first payment, you should be making a plan for what happens day to day to day, because it gets worse and worse and worse, and it erodes your rights as you just let it fester. That's why we're proactive. We have a for sale foreclosure department. We will be helping with short sales if you don't have equity in your home. We do have ways of helping your future with such a terrible thing. Most people don't know that FHA will lend to you again after 3 years if you have a problem with a foreclosure. If it does become fully foreclosed and goes through the system, they will lend to you after 7 years. So we do see the future in the present today, and we want to go through all the things that will help you and the tools that are available to you to make a bad situation better. It's an adjustment. It is a difficult chore to go through, and we have the training, and we also have the staff to make sure that you are well protected no matter what your situation is. But it is looking like the courts are becoming a little bit more jammed up. So we can extend the foreclosure timeline from about 9 months to maybe 10 months, but each area is different, and most judges do feel for the defendant and do grant continuances with proper reasoning. So we are able to see a little bit into the future about how to help people better with their housing decisions. It is something that is probably one of the top 5 stressors that could be avoided. So, with that, if you have any questions regarding your home or your position, or if you just like to do a profit analysis, we do more than just a home analysis. We actually give you a profit projection, what that check would look like if you were to sell right now. Give us a call. Our number at the office is 219 237 9797, or you can reach a manager directly at 847 508 0652. I am not afraid to answer the phone. So if you do have any questions and you just need some consultation, I would love to be able to give you the best information possible to make your future what you wanted it to be. Yes, it's an investment. Yes, it's housing. We want to do the best for you. Put us to work. Now, that is all I got for today. Have a nice weekend. Find somebody to make their lives better, and it will at least give you a little bit more confidence in the world and where we're at right now. We're about halfway through this. Buckle up, folks. We are going to have a tremendous ride going forward. All my best to you, and we'll talk to you again. Bye now.